Hello everybody, my name is Colin339, welcome back to another video. Today in this one is going to be another tier list video, and in this one I'll be ranking every single Yu-Gi-Oh product that released in 2024. Yeah, we're only a couple days away from 2025, and with 2025 coming around the corner, I decided why not, let's look at the year that just happened in 2024 and see how every product ranked this year. So a couple caveats before we get into the video. Number one, we're not going to be doing any accessories, things like game mats, deck boxes, and sleeves, like those kind of things. Don't really think they're really necessary to rank. I think they're always just a good thing because they're not that expensive to buy anyways, but I don't think I'm going to be ranking those because I want to just rank cards that released this year. Another thing I'm not going to be doing is like the stainless steel stuff they've been doing. I don't really want to do that. I don't think that's really necessary to rank either. And then the third thing is the reprint sets that happen, the sets that reprinted this year, things like the Legacy of Destruction reprint, and like the Lightswarm structure deck that got reprinted in the Retro Pack reprint as well. Not going to be ranking those as well. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into the video, shall we? So we're going to be starting off with the first pack that released this year, Maze of Millennia, and then we'll just go in chronological order after that. So Maze of Millennia. So I do have a couple tabs pulled up so we can kind of look at the cards that were in this set. So to be honest with you, initially, this actually wasn't even that good of a set to begin with. There was only a couple chase cards. Like, obviously, like, the Flame Store stuff was, like, good in for Noble Knights for, like, a little bit. But, like, the Soul they got banned before this point. So, like, it wasn't really that good. Like, there's some, like, new Dinosaur stuff in here as well. But the really chase cards that were in this set were, like, Bonfire and, like, Transaction Rollback. Like, number one was cool for, like, exactly Labyrinth, and that's pretty much it. The Earthbound stuff was cool, but, like, people only tested it for, like, a week and a half and decided it just wasn't worth doing, so they dropped it after that. So, again, the really only chase cards were, like, Transaction Rollback and Bonfire. I think Triple Tactic Thrust is also in this set as well, and that was pretty much going. That was the only thing going for this set. And then later on in the year, those cards I just mentioned got reprinted. So it got even worse after that. So to be honest with you, really wasn't even that good of a set. Like, it would be like a C tier set if we were just ranking it on the initial release. But after the entire year happened, like, it's more like going towards F tier for me. I really want to put it here because it just isn't that good of a set, to be honest with you. But am I going to be that harsh on the first set that released this year? Like, obviously, not everyone knew that those cards were going to get reprinted this year. That's kind of a new thing that Konami's been doing. I don't know. I'm going to put it in F tier. I really did not like this set at all. Another thing I really did not like this year as well is the two-player starter deck. So if we can look at the card list this is our technical only structure deck that we got this year, and it's not even a structure deck, it's a starter deck. That's a completely different thing. As you can see, it's really, really bad, but obviously it's not meant to be good. This is meant to only introduce players to the game, people that don't know how to play the game, kind of introduce them to the stuff. Now, I honestly don't think that's a good thing. I honestly think a structure deck would be better to do that. Like, I think a Fire King or a Trap Trick structure deck is better to teach a new player than the actual starter deck was going to. And the only, like, notable reprint that was in here was pretty much Zeus. Zeus was, like, the only really good reprint in this, and everything else was, like, like, whatever. Like, so to be honest with you, I think this is another F tier set. Like, obviously, maybe I'm being a little harsh because, again, this is meant for newer players, not meant for, like, the players that already know the game, right? But even then, I think a structure deck like the Fire King and the Trap Trick structure deck was just a better way to learn the game compared to what this does. Like, obviously, you do have to learn the basics eventually, like to start off, but like, I think there's just better ways to do it. I think the starter deck was not that good this year. The Zeus reprint, again, was the really only good thing about it, and that was pretty much it. Maybe I'm going a little bit harsh on it, but honestly, I don't think it was really that good of a set compared to structure decks do. Like, structure decks, at least you can build a deck with that, like go off of it, like get cards from other sets to help build this deck. While with the starter deck, as you can really see, there's really nothing to build off of this because a lot of these cards are not that good. Maybe you can go off like Manadium stuff, and that's pretty much it. So I don't know. I'm gonna put it in F tier. Really didn't like this set. Alrighty, Phantom of Nightmare. This is our first core set of the year that released in February. So this one had the initial Yubel support with Spirit and Samsara and stuff like that. With this had the new Raid Raptor support as well, which is really, really good, but honestly not the greatest in the world. Goblin Biker was cool as well to see. Obviously, this is really impactful because it had the Snake Eyes Poplar and it had Promethean Princess in this set as well. And it also had the Voiceless Voice set or the voiceless voice deck in here as well. The new Amarillo stuff is really, Amarillo stuff is cool. EP Meow Mine didn't really become good until way later in the year, so we really don't want to count that. So yeah, pretty much after that, there's really nothing else. The only thing I do have to say about this set is I remember the secret rare slots were really not that good. It was really the ultra rares that you were chasing for, because Promethean and Princess and Poplar were kind of in there. Like, Low was really the only good secret rare in there. Like the Yubel Nightmare Throne was an ultra in this set. So I think the set was really, really good. Like, it introduced the Yubel stuff. It introduced the voiceless voice stuff. It had Poplar and Promethean that made Snake Eyes really, really good. Still had like Goblin Bikers with this as well. So like, honestly, I'm going to put it in A tier. I think this is a really, really good set. I think the only problem with it is obviously the secret rare slot was a little worse. Like, you were chasing more of the ultra rares than you were the secret rares, but I think that's perfectly fine. I think this goes into A tier. I don't think it's an S tier set. A tier, I think it's perfectly fine. Alrighty, now on to OTS packs. OTS pack 24. So this one had Chaos Angel, Rock of the Vanquish, and Harpy's Feather Duster as the ultras, and then the super rares were like Aruha, Chandelier. These are all like reprint Shavara, DDD, High King Caesar. Honestly, this is a really good OTS pack when I'm looking back at it. Terrors is a really good one as well. Like Rarity bumped like Shavara before it got the Tin reprint, and Aruha as well. Reprinted the High King Caesar, which is really cool. It had Coddle and Chandelier as well. I think Stovey already had it super rare at this point. So again, the Chandelier was nice to upgrade that. And then like it had like the Force Strix was a nice reprint as well. Cyanide Mining was cool as well. I think this honestly was a really good OTS pack. I'm going to throw it in A tier. Really, really good. Obviously, you only get the OTS packs by entering a tournament. But honestly, this OTS pack was really, really good. I will put it in A tier for sure. Now on to the Battles of Legends Chapter 1. Now, honestly, I don't remember that much about this, so I'm going to have to quickly look over the card list. Big Eye is cool. Absolute Zero is really cool for Edison, if I'm not mistaken. Besides that, though, like Minerva was cool. Exiton was cool before it got reprinted later in the year as well. Number 90, Galaxy Photon Lord, was super expensive before this as well. I do remember that. Besides that, though, like Emperor also was a really good reprint as well. The Yubel stuff just getting reprinted just because the new support was coming out was cool. I think besides that, though, like Kaijus are cool, but they're always reprinted in structure decks. Gimmick Puppet was cool, I guess, but I don't really necessarily think that was the greatest in the world. Honestly, just like kind of looking at the set, like it was okay. Like I had Lightswarm reprints in here because they were getting support later on in the year. Like just kind of looking at it, I honestly don't think this set isn't as good. And that's what I kind of remember from the initial release of it as well. Like it had some nice reprints, but overall just wasn't really that good. So I don't think it's an F tier set because there are a couple like expensive cards that were in here that got reprinted and made it less expensive. So I think I'm going to put it like in a C tier set for sure. I don't think it deserves to go any higher than that. So I think this is a C tier set for sure. The second core set of the year, Legacy of Destruction, is next. So this had the Silent Magician stuff, which is cool. Like the silent, I forget what you actually call this. Shiny Sarcophagus is what I think you call it. This deck is okay. It's not the greatest in the world. The new Ancient Gear stuff was cool. New Melodia support was insane. I think it just got worse once Apollosa got banned later in the year, but this was really, really good support for Melodious. Made it like an engine, like you can play it as an engine with Ostinato, which was really cool. Snake Eyes Diabellstar was really good for Snake Eyes. Diabell's the original Sinful Keeper is cool, but it hasn't really seen as much play as people thought it was. Ragnarika is kind of a cool archetype, but just isn't there yet. Tempai was a meta threat the entire year, and it was actually not that cheap or not that expensive to get. But like I think Hydra was kind of the super rare that got short printed, so it was a little bit more expensive. This had the future Yubel support that made it really, really good with Grave Squirmer, which was really, really good. Obviously, the new Lightswarm stuff got reprinted in this as well, which I just talked about as well. Really, really good stuff. The Nightmare Apprentice being able to search for the illusion, which is a generic searcher. Really, really good. This set honestly isn't terrible, especially since it does have the Tempai stuff, which was cheap and a meta threat as well, is good. Verados is a good rank 10 that Yubel would end up taking later in the year, but this is just a good generic rank 10 in general. Obviously, more of the Ragnarika stuff. Is there anything else I'm missing? Oh, Nightmare Throne was in this set. Interesting. I guess that makes Phantom of you a little bit worse, but I think still Phantom is still an A. So Nightmare Throne was in this set. I was mistaken. Metatronus honestly wasn't actually that bad of a quick play spell as well. If there anything else I'm missing in here, I don't think I am. Oh, they had the new Ashen stuff. Ugh. The new Ashen stuff was rough. I'm not gonna lie. That was like, it had Codasol, which is really good for Malice later on in the year. So, Legacy of Destruction was really good. I think I'm going to put it in A tier just because it did have the Tempai stuff, which made it really, really good. I think the Phantom is a little bit worse. We'll put this like this. There we go. I think Legacy is just because it had Tempai, it was cheap, and it was a meta player. Had the new use of spell support in Spirit, or not Spirit, in Grave Skirmer and Nightmare Throne, which is really good as well. So I think this is like an A tier set. I think maybe Phantom is better just because that has a lot more meta deck, like Voice and Snake Eyes are kind of in like this stuff, and the use of spell support is also in there as well, the initial Yubel support. So I'm going to keep it like that, but I think Legacy of Destruction is a really, really good set. Now on to Rarity Collection 2. So this was initially frowned upon because it wasn't as good as Rarity Collection 1, but it was still really, really good in my opinion. I think this is really, really good, especially for the Fire King Sealed Only deck, not going to lie. So it had like the other generic hand traps that they didn't reprint in the first initial one. So like DD Crows, Skullmeister, Droll and Lockbird, Chaos Hunter, those were kind of hand traps that they did initially did not reprint it in Rarity Collection 1, got the reprint in here. Had Raikou and Simple Mega Hamster, which is good for Edison format if I'm not mistaken. Ghost Org, obviously just another hand trap they didn't put. They have Blue Eyes in here, like Blue Eyes support stuff. The Silent Magician stuff was kind of to support the Shining Star reprint. Phantasme, Magicians of Souls, that was a really good reprint as well. Oluber being in here. The Pearly reprints being in here as well made it a little bit more cheaper as well. Dragoon getting reprinted was cool as well because this was like an expensive card if I'm not mistaken. Same thing with Chimera and Garua. Like this is actually not that bad of a set, especially with Dweller being in here. Like this is actually not bad. Seals, Appaloosa got the reprint before it got banned. Same thing with the IP Masquerena as well. Access Code being in here is insane. Same thing with Underworld. Honestly, this isn't actually that bad of a set. Book of Eclipse is also just an insane reprint as well. Like the Twin Twister Cosmics are really good. Crossout being in here is insane. Honestly, I think this is an S tier set. I know. Call me crazy. I think this is an S tier set for sure. I think this set is just insane. I think a lot of people just did not give it credit. I think the problem with this is I do remember it was like double the price of what Rarity Collection 1 was, so maybe that puts it down just a tad bit. Maybe I do put in A tier just for that. But honestly, as a reprint set, this was a really, really good reprint set just to get like staples in there. So I really do like this set a lot. Now on to OTS Pack 25. So this had Exodia, Snake Eyes Ash, and Diviner as your ultis, and then your supers being White Prince. Delta was a really good reprint, not gonna lie. Arata being able to get the super rare was cool for the Fire King decks. That was later. Dynamondo being a super was cool for Voiceless Voice as well. Same thing with Island Game, the super rare printing for Fire King was cool. Sorry about that cut. My cat decided to be dumb, but I was talking about, so Redox got reprinted later in the year here, but honestly, I don't think this is really that good of an OTS pack. I'm going to put it in B tier. Yeah, B tier is probably fine. Like it has some nice stuff, but I don't think, like, it had just rarity upgrades, pretty much, it was all. And the ultis were, like, okay at best. So I'm going to put it in B tier for sure. Battles of Legends, Terminal Revenge. This was not that good of a set. To be honest with you, I think really the only things, like, Full Armored Utopia Ray Lancer is good now, because you can play it in, like, pure Ryziel, but that's pretty much it. Maybe Sharks can take advantage of this as well. I had the new... what is it called? The new Ice Barrier support, which is cool, but I think Sprite was the only really one that was really playing this. This is a cool Synchro 10 that just hasn't been used yet. I think this is a really cool card, though. I had the new Infernoid support as well, which is cool, but like it didn't really do anything when it comes to meta impacts. The Toy Soldier stuff later became better once White Forest came out, which is cool as well. But a lot of the main selling points was like I remember Harpor getting reprinted, the Sprite stuff got reprinted in this stuff as well, but Phantom of Yubel was in here. That was the very important one, because this made it where Yubel was the meta player in the deck, because now it had the Phantom to go with it. So that was really, really good that it got that. But I think after that, the deck was, or the set was like just okay. I had the Ritual Beast like reprints as well, which became good later on. Once Ritual Beast got their new support as well with Harpor. Again, Harpor and Diviner being reprinted is nice. Kari Curry and Cartesia. Okay, this isn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I think I'm going to put it in B tier. I don't think it deserves to go any higher than this. You can make an argument for maybe being in C tier. It had some couple good reprints. Yubel being in here. The Phantom of Yubel made it like the meta player. It had Magia as a QC exclusive. I think sucks though, because there's a lot of Blue Eyes players that just can't play with that card because they can't afford that card, unfortunately. So, but I think it's a B tier set for sure. Infinite Forbidden. This is the Fiend Smith set, if I'm not mistaken. So this had obviously the Millennium stuff, which I already talked about this deck. I think they put way too many restrictions on this deck. I think this could have been a cool kind of thing, but they put way too many restrictions. Had the new Gimmick Puppet stuff. We made the Gimmick Puppet FTK very much possible. It had the new Shiny Stark support as well. Had White Forest, had the Fiend Smith, had the new Tenpai Genroku, it had new Memento support, which made Memento a player as well. Centurion getting new support in here as well was really, really good. Pirellia is just a really good secret rare in this set. Let's see, is there really anything else in here? Yeah, the Gimmick Puppet stuff. I had the new Modolce stuff, which was okay. Silhouette Rabbit being a really good secret rare as well. Just a generic extra deck guy you can be playing in there. Besides that, I think that's really everything else in this set. I think, what was the TCG exclusive archetype? Mimighoul, the initial Mimighoul support. Ariel Eater being in here was insane as well, with Necroquip Princess being in there as well. Moon was in here as well. Like, this was actually kind of an insane set. I'm going to put it in... I don't think it deserves to be S tier. I really don't think so, but there's a lot of good stuff in here. I think I am going to put it in S tier. Fiend Smith being in here, White Force being in here, Mimighoul initial support was cool. The TCG exclusives, Ariel, Eater, and Necroquip made Fiend Smith insane. Silhouette Rabbit. I'm honestly going to put this in S tier. I think this is a really, really good. Obviously, and the Pirellia is in here as well. I think this is a really, really good set looking back on it. Obviously, a lot of the things are secret rare, so they're high rarity, they're expensive, which sucks for like budget players, but I think this is a really good set. It changed the meta really, really impactful, so I think this is really, really deserves to be in S tier for sure. But that's just my opinion though. Obviously you can disagree with that for sure. Next thing up here is the 25th anniversary Duing Tin. Let me make sure, yes, correct. Honestly, I think this tin was really bad this year. Usually I go, when I'm talking to new players, I'm like, go for the tins. They have a lot of good stuff. Honestly, the past 2 years, though, the tins have been really, really bad. Like, honestly, like, they had the QC exclusive stuff, which was cool, I guess. But honestly, it wasn't, I don't know, it wasn't really that good. I think the reprint of Excel was cool. Obviously, and the same thing with Cosmic Blazar Dragon. But honestly, this deck just wasn't that good. Like, First Movement Solo was a nice reprint because Melodious needed that, and it hasn't been reprinted in a little bit. Like, besides that, though, like, it had the alternate arts of stuff, which was cool. Like, but the reprints just wasn't that good. Like, Thrust, like, the reprints they did do, like, of Thrust, SP, Sky Crisis, and Dia Bellstar, and Wanted, were all short printed. And there's, like, so many cards in this set. Like, I could just scroll down for so long. Like, I just don't think this tin was that good this year. So, in my honest opinion, I'm putting it in C tier. Like, it literally, like, 2 months after this got released, a better reprint set came out. So I think this is for sure a C tier. Maybe it's better than the Battles Legends, but that's pretty much it. That's just my opinion. I think the tin was really bad this year. The OTS Pack 26 is our next one. This had Dia Bellstar as an ulti, Low as an ulti, Phantom of Yubel as an ulti, which is a disgusting looking ulti, not gonna lie. I had Backjack, which cool little reprint for just anything that can play Backjack. Buzzsaw Shark being a super rare. Let's go! Shark players, rejoice. Moon of the Closed Heaven being a super rare. Chicken Game coming off the list and then getting a reprint was cool. Ostinato getting that super rare was cool. Sangan Summoning getting the rarity upgrade was cool as well. I think the commons are really, like, not that good. But, like, this is okay. I think it's not as good as the 24th one, but I think it's probably better than the 25th one. I'm not going to lie. So, yeah, we're going to keep it like that. Rage of the Abyss. So, we're now getting a little bit later into the year. Rage of the Abyss had the new Shark support, which was cool. It had a little bit more of the Millennium stuff as well. The new Metal Zoes, which was cool, but didn't really do anything unless you were playing Dragon Link. Then you could, like, search this card, but that was pretty much it. The new Goblin Biker Gone Weigel was cool. Primite was okay. Lacrima, insane card for Fiend Smith that they got. More Centurion stuff. The new Mermail support is pretty cool and has been seeing some tops. Six Samurai support hasn't really been doing anything. As a note, Fool Ross being just a really good fucking Maxi replacement is really, really good. The new Azamina stuff is in here that did impact the meta a lot. What else is in here? More 6am, more Sharks, Mermails. Gum Dave's really, really good as well for Fiend Smith. Battle Wasp support is okay, I guess. Just more Primite stuff. This had the second wave of Mimighoul support, which was really, really insane. Final Bring is End Time, just a generic like quick play that any deck can play, which is really cool. As well, had Fire King Volcanics in here, which was important for that. Fire King decks, Dominus Impulse being a really good hand trap as well was also in here. Obviously, the second wave of Fire King support, Mimighoul support is what I was just talking about. So, Rage of the BS. I think I'm going to put this a little bit lower just because a lot of the stuff is not really like as good as of right now. Like the Azamina stuff was good, and then now Snake Eyes is dead, so like there's really nothing you can do with it until at least the White Force support that comes out next year comes out. I'm going to put this probably better than Battles of Legends, but I think this is a B tier set for sure. I think these sets are probably better than that. Quarter Century Bananza, for sure S tier. I don't even have to look at it, but we'll look at it anyway. So many just good reprints. I had the QC like exclusive slots, which was cool. I had the reprints of all the Dragon Rulers. Obviously, Lori getting a reprint was nice and high rarity. Like, obviously, all these can be high rarities as well, which is cool. Like, Dogwood is a cool little reprint. Like, isn't as good, but it made it where, like, getting the Snake Eye stuff was now feasible compared to what the tins were. Actually, kind of looking at it, this is a little bit worse than I thought it was. I don't know. Bananza was still really, really good. I'm not going to lie. SP being in here, which was really cool, like for just budget players to pick up. Same thing with Promethean. Allure, Super Poly is cool. Ostinato getting another reprint is fine. Thrust being in here, Bonfire Wanted. Like, there's a lot of like good meta impact stuff that's in here. Then you have the QC exclusive slots that I'm not going to scroll through. But that was good for reprints for like Edison and Go formats and stuff like that. I don't know. I think this set was really, really good. I'm not going to lie. Maybe it's a little worse that I was looking at it, but I still think it's probably better than Rarity Collection 2. Yeah, I'm going to put it like this. Yeah, maybe I'm crazy for that. Crossover Breaker, the most recent one that we just had. So, obviously, this has the Rizal and the Malice support, and also has the Ryoji stuff as well, which is cool. And then it has a couple little reprints as in the rare slots, like a Planet Pathfinder. I think Exiton. Yeah, Exiton's being reprinted, which was nice. I think the set is actually a lot better than people are giving it. I think I'm going to put it at the top of A tier. Just because actually buying a box of this is actually, you get 4 guaranteed ultras, and like, yeah, there are some bad ultras, but you're pretty much guaranteed to get some good ultra out of just one box, which is cool. So I'm going to put this in A tier. Yeah, I think that's where it belongs. This card, honestly, when it comes to meta impact as well, fucking insane. If it was meta impact, S tier, but I think A tier is really, really good. Maybe, I think I'm putting Infinite Forbidden way too high. I'm going to put this in A tier for sure. I think Crossover actually belongs in S tier. Honestly, just like kind of looking at it, maybe it's recency bias, obviously, because this just came out this month, but like, I think this set is really, really insane. And then the last set here is the Speed Duel one. Now, obviously, I don't know that much about Speed Duel, so I don't know how good this is. Obviously, the main selling point was obviously this card right here getting reprinted, Max C, which is insane, but I honestly don't know that much about Speed Duel, and obviously this is the last one that Speed Duel is going to get ever, so I don't know. To be fair, I'm going to put it at the bottom of the C. I'm not going to put it in F tier just because I don't know that much when it comes to Speed Duel, but Maxi getting reprinted is still pretty insane, so I'm going to put this in C tier for sure. And that is it for my ranking. I kind of went a little rambly there, but I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, leave a like, subscribe for more content on the channel, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.